Hi, I'm John Levey with Peter Bodo for Tennis.com's Quick Hits. Pete, as we wrap up the 2008 season, we're looking back at some of the milestones that have happened in tennis through the years. 55 years ago, Maureen Connolly became the first woman to win a calendar Grand Slam. That in itself is an incredible achievement, but what's her legacy to the game as a whole?
Well, she was, first of all, she was one of the first prodigies. The other thing is that in that era, even though the women's movement, hadn't progressed so far by that point, it was in its nascent stage, you basically, a lot of the women played a lot like the men, played a pretty loose game. They volleyed a little bit, they served, they ran around. Little Mo was known for her grit and her determination from the baseline. She's the grandmother of the Chris Everetts and the Tracy Austins and every other girl who planted herself at the baseline, played with steely determination and with impeccable ground strokes. There's a reason why she was called Little Mo. She was named after the battleship Missouri, even though she herself was small, only 5'4" tall.
In a very short period of time, she did rack up a remarkable record. Unfortunately, at just the age of 19, she got into a horrible horse riding accident, which cut her career totally short.
Yeah, it was really a freak accident. She was riding a horse given to her by her husband, Norman Brinker, who was a very well-known equestrian at the time, and she got rammed by a car. She felt her leg shatter. She knew she would never play tennis again. But in that short span that she had for a career, up to the age of 19, she won 9 slams. She won 50 matches in a row in Grand Slam competition at one point. She absolutely, utterly dominated the landscape. Hard to imagine, but within 2 years of having completed the first women's Grand Slam, she was out of tennis.
You mentioned how dominant she was with all those slam titles. Her style of play, that baseline style of play, and her size, would she be able to compete with the girls today?
Well, that's a very, very big question. You're really talking about a whole class of player who may not be able to cut the mustard anymore in today's game. Of course, you learn in tennis, never say never. People always say, this game is dead, the serving volley game is dead, the baseline is dead. And you'd be surprised. Individual talents can really come up and reshape the game. But, it would be very hard for a woman who's playing just from the baseline, banging balls, ground strokes left and right, to survive. The women are bigger, they're stronger, they have more variety in their games. Steffi Graf was the one who changed that paradigm, who started to shove all those baseliners out of the way, and that really hasn't changed yet.
And Graf was the last woman 20 years ago to win a calendar Grand Slam. Well, that wraps up Tennis.com's Quick Hits. I'm John Levey with Peter Bodo.